2020, when they asked you a question, they said, so how do you think Trump is doing with COVID? I think the word you used was, I like how involved he is.
Yeah,
right?
he was there every day, you know. We all didn't know when what was going on. But at least he was there every day on television, you know, and I think it made me feel better. But I did an interview because I was involved with the podcast company, Audio Up at the time, and doing my own podcast. And so I was doing an interview with a certain outlet, and they asked that question, and then it turned into, they tried to cancel me. They tried to cancel me actually
Literally.
a couple of times, yeah, over that. When I was doing Reagan, there was a story that came out that I was taking $400,000 from the Trump administration, through the CDC to do a commercial on the vaccine, which
that's the thing you do with Fauci.
Had no validity at all, and it was like an attempt to cancel me.
Crazy.
I don't know whether it's because I was playing Reagan or what, but it's so finally, and then I gave a speech after I did Reagan. I gave a speech down here to a conservative group, and there happened to be a couple of people there that I think were January 6th or whatever, and somehow that got out, and they're trying to cancel me over that. It's like, it's, the kind of fear, it kind of feels like the McCarthy era, really, and that's kind of flipped. Back then it was really kind of the Republicans that were kind of running that thing, and it's that's no way to live. I finally am kind of like, well, cancel me if you're going to cancel me, but I'm gonna be who I am. I don't want to live in fear about all this stuff,
Did you at one point have Fauci on the podcast, or were you on a podcast?
Yeah, I
with
did.
Fauci?
I interviewed Fauci.
What was that like with Fauci?
Actually, I was giving a speech in Washington about my kids. My kids were they were overdosed in a hospital with heparin, because they were there for a staph infection when they were 12 days old, and it was like world news or whatever. But so after that, I was giving a speech about medical safety. Medical errors around the country, and I was in Washington and about to give a speech at some hotel or whatever, and my pants split all the way down to all the way open, man. And there was somebody there to sew me up, and it was Fauci. So
You're being serious?
Yeah, sewed the back of my pants up.
This is what year?
Thank God I was wearing underwear. But that was maybe 2008, 9.
Who knows that story? That Fauci. Have you told this story before about the pants?
Not so publicly.
Yeah. So is there a relationship with Fauci?
He did a really good job sewing that up.
The pants.
Yeah, he did.
Maybe he could have gone in a different industry. That's like.
Yeah.
Could have been better for the world. Some would say it could have been like a better opportunity. But
I'm not such a fan now, to tell you the truth.
Of Fauci?
No, I'm not.
Even after he helped you with your pants?
Well, I kind of put that over here to the side.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. So you have the ability to isolate and say, you're great at sewing my pants, but you suck with your policies type of thing. It's a gift.
I just feel that I, like a lot of people, really kind of don't trust what the government says.
Why is that?
As I used to.
What would make you not believe the government?
It's
just
something
one.
I can feel. It's just a hunch. Because something comes out of their mouth. And you wait 6 months, and it didn't turn out to be what they said. But by then, they're on to something else that they want to tell you. Or they try to blame it on the other side.
Yeah. You're one that's very curious with JFK assassination, right? I think you've done
Yeah.
some stuff, and I had Oliver Stone on before, and he's done
Yeah,
the
I'm
movie.
reading a book right now that RFK Jr. endorsed, Unspeakable, which is basically will probably be very similar to the files, which I hope that they do release to the American people. Because I was 9 years old when that happened, and that along with Martin Luther King and RFK getting shot within 2 months each other paralyzed our country really for decades. It's something died there, and we weren't told the truth about it, and I'd really like to find out why for sure. And I myself, I feel like it was within our government that the reasons he was killed.
So are you saying it was the CIA, or are you saying LBJ, or are you saying?
I think it was the CIA.
Okay.
Myself. That was like, I've never been a conspiracy theory type of person, but it's just, it just makes too much sense of why that happened, what was going on. Just, it kind of shivers me to think that the President of the United States is not really in control of the government. And that, it makes me wonder what happened back then and what is it like now? And, the American people are supposed to be running things around here. And I'd like to see the will of the people being done, and I'd really like to get to the bottom of it.
So that was that. This is now, obviously the government's improved dramatically. So do you think the assassination attempt on President Trump could have any likelihood that maybe was an inside job as well, or zero chance?
Well, I'd like to go with some hard evidence, and the way that the Secret Service responded and the FBI responded, and all they do is make you feel like, well, there must be something back there because they don't want to say anything. I mean, everybody else just had to look at their cell phones while they were recording that event to have a timeline about what happened, and they couldn't even say that when they came into Congress. They're like too afraid to speak about this or that, and so I don't know. There's no hard evidence about that, but I'd just like to have some accountability from our government. They're accountable to us, not us to them. We elected them, and these people are not elected officials. That's the people that we elected should be. They're the boss, and we're the boss of the president. Actually, we're the American people, and we should have some accountability. That's what this country is all about. So what makes it great is that we can have all these different voices and forces and accountability to that, and yet we still survive as a country. Things don't just spin off and into chaos. And at least that's what we used to be admired for.
Imagine if we didn't have a Supreme Court.
Yeah.
If we didn't have a Supreme Court, and if Elon doesn't buy X, imagine what happens to America today.
Yeah.
It'd be a whole different place today.
Yeah, thank God for the Supreme Court.
Supreme Court is, and did you hear that they're saying they want to put it, that's only 3 terms of 12 years, and Biden's proposing that now that he, whether it's Biden proposing it or his mentor Obama, somebody's proposing it there internally.
Well, that's the main reason that really swayed me to vote for Trump, was because they start messing with the court system. I mean, before that, the only thing I liked about Trump was everything he did. Was defeated ISIS. He made us energy independent. I think he was really sincere about being a president to all people, including the LGBT community, by the way, you know. And, you know, everybody is Americans. So, but messing with the court system, don't do that. Or as Biden says, don't.
In these uncertain times, if there's anything we need people to believe the future looks bright. So if you've heard about me saying this mission to you, we're on a mission to get 1 million people to wear this gear, and this is what we're doing. If you buy one of these hats, there's a category of buying one hat, getting the second one free. If you haven't yet worn this gear publicly, go ahead and test it out. Buy some of the gear, wear it in public, and see how many people will stop by and say, you also watch Valuetainment? You also follow PBD Podcast? I do too. Place your order. Go to vtmerch.com, click on the link above or below, place your order, and represent the VT and the PBD Podcast gear.